shot.
Am
I'm not
I doing a
worried
big
about
crotch shot to the camera right now?
Oh, you kind of are, yes.
Hey, this is the Ron's World, and this is Ronnie's crotch.
So hey, I'm Ronald, and this is Ronnie, and we get a question all the time, like, why start a YouTube show, particularly about trivial topics? So, but we thought, maybe we should tell a story about like how this all began.
As Ronald said, there's always people that are like, why are you covering these topics? And it really started on a vacation. Ronald and I did a family vacation with our wives and our kids, and on that vacation, there was a dishwasher at the house we rented. And one night after dinner, Ronald decided to load the dishwasher.
Being helpful as usual.
Of course. Ronald decided to load the dishwasher, and I thought that was great. And then
I wanted to make sure they were clean.
Right, which is good. And then the next morning, since he loaded, I thought I'd unload the dishwasher. But what I didn't know is that Ronald would load the dishwasher with the things facing up, meaning the knives, the forks, the spoons, everything was up.
So they would get cleaned properly.
Uh-huh. And what happened was I was unloading the dishwasher and I cut my finger. And I literally had like this gash in my finger. I had to, bandage it up, and the rest of the vacation I'm walking around with this thing, and the whole time I'm saying, why would you load your dishwasher with the things facing up?
First off, Ronnie considers himself very coordinated, and I would agree with that. He's very coordinated. I never would have thought that he would have such a terrible injury.
It's like a hand obstacle course. Later on that evening, we were talking. I was angry. I was cursing his name, being like, dude, like I've got to walk around with this bandage on my hand, and it kept going the whole weekend. We kept talking about it, and then what happened is we started talking about other things, like, is there a right way to put toilet paper on? Does it go over or under? And we had all these absurd things that we kept bringing up. And
why were those things important? So later on that evening, we went out to dinner, and we were still talking about this topic. And so we asked other people around, they're like, why is it important about the silverware? Why is it important about the toilet paper? Everybody had a strong opinion about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, literally, like the conversation got consumed with these trivial topics that really nobody ever thinks about, but everybody's got such these strong opinions about. And Ronald and I said to each other, like, it's crazy.
A lot of this has to do with that people get really, really passionate about important things, but a lot of times they get upset and passionate about things that just aren't important. So, in some ways, just talking about the trivial things, not only are they fun for us, we hope they're fun for our audience, but also maybe it kind of takes your mind off, life that is really important, and just for a few minutes.
Ronald's got 3 daughters, and I've got a daughter and a son, and they are super into TikTok.
Okay.
And later on that night, they're doing these dances, and of course, being kids, they're like, come on, you guys can do the dance. So Ronald and I did this video, and the kids taught us how to do this routine in 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm sure there was alcohol involved.
Yes. Speaking of coordination, I'm not very coordinated. After a few drinks, that's not happening.
So we shot this video, this TikTok video, or the kids did, and they uploaded it, and they created a channel, called At the Ron's World. And we didn't think anything of it at the time. And all of a sudden, everybody started watching this video and liking this video, and our kids got pissed. They're like, why is a bunch of old dudes getting more likes than us on this dance? And it bothered them. And that's when Ronald said,
yeah, why not? Why can't we do something? Like, all these people have these shows, why not us? I mean, people tend to like to hear what we have to say. At least we believe they like to hear what we have to say. And on top of that, we believe we're pretty much right about stuff. Even when Ronnie's wrong, I'm right. So either way, I'm right.
Well, and look, I think there's something really compelling. Our kids think that they know everything. And they know everything about, YouTube and everything that's going to be popular. But you know what they don't have? Wisdom.
Yes.
We are wise beyond our years, but we're also older than them, so we know more than them.
Yes, especially you, Ronnie. You're much older than me.
And it's funny. So to give you a little context on why we know each other so well.
It was right at the tail end of 2nd grade. You moved to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I was the first Ron on the cul-de-sac. Let's just say I was the first.
Yeah. So I remember how this happened. So I had moved into the house, traditional, suburban house, and Ronald walked over, knocked on the door to introduce himself to the new kid, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Ron," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Ron." And he's like, "You want to go for a bike ride?" And then the craziness happened.
Yeah, same bicycles.
Literally,
Exact
same bike.
It was a Schwinn Lightning.
Yeah.
Look that up. They were cool bikes. But we had the exact same bike, same name,
and
living on the same street. Not only 40 years as friends, but we're actually from Alaska, which not too many people that we've ever met have actually been from Alaska. Might have visited, gone on vacations, but we actually grew up there. So that cul-de-sac we were talking about in Anchorage, Alaska, and we have taken it for granted for so many years that we just had a regular growing up playing in the street and all that kind of stuff. But in actuality, Alaska was very, very unique, and so figured there's some topics about that too.
Well, the thing about when you tell somebody you're from Alaska, the first thing that they ask you is like, "What was it like?" And that's like what was what like?
Yeah,
and they always say, well, "What was it like being dark, all day in the winter?" And the reality is that until I moved out of Alaska, I didn't know any different. Like that's just what it was.
Right. And then the question is it always dark? Is it always light?
Right.
I mean, I had people ask me like, "Are there trees in Alaska?"
That's funny. But,
yes.
Or,
trees?
Or if you say, we had the same bike growing up, they're like, no, you mean like you both took a dog sled to school or something like that, or your pet walrus said goodbye to you.
Right. But so some of that hyperbole is it's rooted in truth. It is very, very different than say what our kids are experiencing.
Yes.
But since we since not living in Alaska anymore. But on the other hand, why not have stories about those times too? I mean, it'd be fun. I mean, doing the show for us is really having fun together around something. And that was like when we were kids, there was always something. We always had something to work on.
Yeah.
It was a game or something we created, and a lot of it had like competition. So like our show, this season, Ronnie, I mean, it's kind of morphed a little bit,
Yeah, and the thing about a cold climate, like living in Alaska, especially if you're a viewer and you live in like a tropical place where there's no snow, like you have to get really creative on what to do. Like there's a lot of inside time in the winter, especially when it is dark or when it is really cold.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be really creative. So Ronald and I over the years have come up with some really, really fun ways to pass the time together. And I think there's a lot of stories to share, as Ronald said. We've got now over 50 videos.
Yeah.
Over 500,000 people have watched the show, thousands of subscribers, and first off, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we're so thankful to the people who have been interested about the show, but we're excited about season 2. We're taking this thing up a notch. We're actually going to put together a set, and this set's really going to talk about our past.
Yeah, and we were very intentional about picking some things that I think would help you come into our world and maybe kind of connect with you as well. So stay tuned and check it out.